Brooklyn Independent Television.
Hello, I'm Randy Piers. Welcome to Sector B, the business of Brooklyn on Brooklyn Independent Television. Every retail business tries to do something to distinguish itself, to get people curious enough to walk through the door and at least look around. This spring, a new furniture and home furnishing store opened in Dumbo. That's not exactly unusual in this upscale neighborhood. So what's different about this place? For one thing, some of the merchandise is made right on premises. For another, the company is named after a dog.
The name Olga is named after my dog, Chocolate Lab. Guanabara is actually an oceanic bay in Rio de Janeiro. And I used to go over to Rio when I lived in São Paulo, and she used to swim in the Guanabara Bay. So that's where the name comes from. But now we are here right next to the Manhattan Bridge in Dumbo, Brooklyn. 63 Pearl Street. Sometimes it's finding the right piece of material, piece of wood, and depending on its size, I look at something and I say, well, what can I do with this? That's kind of a fun challenge and a creative process too, because sometimes you find a beautiful piece of wood and you wish it was 20 feet long. So you can make a dining table, but all you have is, 40 inches. But you say, man, I bet this could be something beautiful. Starting your own business is not at all an easy thing. I think everybody that goes for it takes the risk. It always turns out to be a lot harder than they expected. It's been a blast, but it's been a challenge in terms of finding the balance, I guess, for me in this particular kind of business, which is a mixture of the sort of artistic part of it, which is the part that I love, designing and building, but then also managing the business from everything from, bills and employees or taxes and turning on the phone and all that kind of stuff. There are the tasks which need to get done, which I necessarily don't like to do so much, but I try to do 3 or 4 things every day which I dislike. Bills, taxes, seeing what's out there in terms of the competition, who's doing what, and keeping up with the whole marketing and Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of stuff that's I consider a necessary evil nowadays. I love trying to find materials. Right now I'm working a lot with, steel and reclaimed wood. And I guess it's the aspect of the everyday usage of these materials that you see throughout the city, from the manholes and the bridges and this kind of raw, brute material. But coming up with a design that kind of elevates the rawness of these materials into something not only beautiful in terms of hopefully a nice looking piece, aesthetically pleasing, but also functional, dining tables, coffee tables. It's a social aspect of bringing people together, hopefully for a good time. I know that sometimes certain dinners, Thanksgiving and too much family can be a little complicated, but the social aspect of bringing people together over a good meal attracts me a lot. Maybe because I also enjoy to cook, but it's finding that beauty in the rawness of these materials through design and putting it together. I think the city is my inspiration for a lot of the work, most of the work. The work that's been done in the city, from the buildings to the bridges to the parks, is very inspiring, and even the artwork that you can find in the city and the museums is a source of inspiration. But you can find inspiration everywhere in this city. That's the beauty of New York. I love Manhattan, but I think I love Brooklyn even more. And just around here in Dumbo and Williamsburg, there's so much cool stuff out there. And sometimes it's a lot of ugly stuff. It's all the way you look at it, The beauty, or somebody said, the beauty's not in the light, it's in the shadows. and that's what reveals it. And there's definitely a lot of shadows in Brooklyn. There's a dining table in the showroom that I named an ode to the Manhattan Bridge. It's made of steel, hot-rolled steel, but the driftwood that connects both of the bases I found underneath the Manhattan Bridge. And that's where I can get from time to time, a few pieces of wood. They wash up there. And it's always interesting to find these pieces of wood because obviously they don't show up in the best condition. And when you start taking it down, sanding it, sometimes there's something really beautiful underneath it. And that's always exciting. It's like a kid opening up a little present, on Christmas. Folks can always find out more going to the website, olgaguanabara.com. Guanabara. That's Guanabara. And we got the Twitter thing going, the Facebook, blogs. The ideal green light, blue skies world is to grow, expand. I mean, always having this space and this workshop, but I would love also someday to have a bit more room where I could, design and assemble more pieces at a time, but always, keeping the craftsmanship going. The one thing that I love about this is that, they're all one-of-a-kind pieces, and I don't want to do large-scale manufacturing by any shape or form. There's plenty of those places out there already.
Follow us on Twitter at BK Independent TV.